guys. Hopefully I will have some guests with me talking about Fear Street 1994, which obviously hit Netflix on Friday. Hi Josh, hi Emma. Right, I'll just try and add you guys in. Let me see. Go live. See if that works, Josh. I'll bring Josh on first. Has that worked? Oh, hiya!
Hello!
Hello! Can you hear me okay?
Happy Fear Street!
Happy Fear Street! Right, let me see if I can bring Emma in. I've not done this before, so...
Never done a four-way.
No, well, let's not go there, Josh.
No, sorry, I'll keep it clean.
Right, I just add...
Hi, Sally.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. Let's see if it works. I've sent Emma a request. Hello!
Hey.
Oh my gosh!
Whoa!
Wow! Look at you!
You've gone all out. Makes my Point Horror t-shirt look rubbish.
Emma! Oh, Emma, we can't hear you. Speak again.
Oh. Fear Street colours.
Yes, I can hear you now. Yeah, I can hear you now. I know your hair's brilliant. I love it. Oh, and the makeup. I feel really...
Are you getting any feedback? Because I haven't got any earphones in. Is it okay?
Yeah, it's fine. We'll just have to make sure that when you're chatting, we try not to talk over Emma, because I think that might be why we can't hear you sometimes. But welcome. I know Lauren's going to join us. I just need to keep an eye out when she joins. If anyone sees Lauren and I miss it, let me know. But yeah, Lauren should join us soon. So yeah, happy Fear Street. I feel really underdressed because Emma just looks so brilliant.
Emma's just showing us all up.
I've got my Point Horror t-shirt on. Hey. I really need a Fear Street. Oh, here's Lauren. Yeah, let me add Lauren in. Hopefully this will work, Lauren. This will be the first time ever I've done something right technically in my whole life. Yay!
Hooray!
Okay. Sorry.
We're all
no,
here.
not at all. We were just admiring Emma's makeup and and hair, Fear Street colours in her hair and everything.
And Lauren's done eyeshadow. Lauren's done Fear Street eyeshadow.
It's the 4th of July here. So.
Oh yes, of course it is. Happy 4th of July.
Thank you. I'm not leaving the house. So.
It's too scary out there.
Well, I can't believe I've actually done this right. I'm really proud of myself, but I've got all four of us on the screen. Yeah, I didn't think that was going to happen. But yeah, happy Fear Street, everyone. And thank you for joining me to ramble. I know Lauren did a brilliant chat the other day. It was so good, Lauren, your initial reaction.
Thank you.
I loved it. It was brilliant. But yeah, so should we get into it? Let's start with talking about that opening sequence, the very Scream-esque sequence. What did we all think? What did you think, Josh?
I loved it. You immediately get the Scream vibe, and I just love that they got Maya Hawke from Stranger Things.
Oh,
she is awesome, and the more you listen to her voice, you're like, oh my god, she is like a baby Uma. She just completely is. Yeah, and because did you know that 𝐿 𝐵𝐺𝐈AC, the director, her partner is Ross Duffer from Stranger Things. So there's obviously a little bit of can I borrow your star from your series to come and be in my film? And,
that's not a bad idea, because you interviewed her, didn't you, for SFX magazine?
Yeah, for SFX. It's on sale now.
It is. Yeah.
It is. Yeah. Yeah, she's awesome. I'm so chuffed for 𝐿 𝐵𝐺𝐈AC, because I just think she was so lovely, and her intentions were so pure. She loves horror. She directed a couple of the Scream TV series episodes, so she knows her stuff, and I'm just really chuffed that her film is freaking awesome. Yeah, definitely. What about you, Emma? What did you think of the opening sequence?
Yeah, I also got Scream vibes from it. And I actually saw somebody do like a split screen on Twitter where they had like the scream up against the skull face, like the ghost face and the skull face, and it was almost like for like. And I thought, this is so cool. And I really thought, and I was yelling at the screen because I couldn't remember the actress's name, and I was just going, Scoops, Scoops, like that.
Run, Scoops, run.
Robin, it's Robin. So yeah, I loved it. It was a great first kill. It was brilliant. And the book saved her life. You know, well,
Yes.
not completely, but books are great.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What about you, Lauren? I liked the whole like pulling off the mask and you actually saw who was behind the mask. And yeah, I really loved that. What did you think of? So in the opening sequence, Lauren, there was like rip-offs, let's call them rip-offs of the books on the shelf. I was trying to like look at the titles, but I couldn't catch them all. I probably could have froze it or something. But yeah, what did you think of that?
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was creative how they added it, and then how they like changed his name to like Robert Lawson, I think it was.
I think Robert Lawrence, yeah.
Yeah,
I think.
Robert Lawrence,
yeah.
That's what it was. And then I noticed too that they like took the Fear Street title off of the books, and also they were super thick compared to normal Fear Street.
Yeah.
They're not that big. But yeah, I really loved the whole scene, and like the scene in the bookstore. I thought that was fun, and just I don't know, I loved it. It like got you excited for the whole movie.
Yeah, definitely set the tone. And then the other thing that set the tone, I think, was the soundtrack. So obviously the film set in the 90s. The soundtrack for me was just like being in my car going to work, because that's the kind of music I listen to anyway. Although what I will say, one gripe, just because I'm a bit of a music geek, was that if it's 1994, then the music should be from 1994. But I get why they did use later. I think later on they used Firestarter by the Prodigy. And I'm sure that's like 96. I mean, I could be really wrong. My dates, but that's just like a tiny little thing.
I also thought they went slightly nuts when they were in the high school scene and they had like song and then song and then song. I was like, okay, let's just calm down. Like, we get it. Nostalgia's awesome.
Yeah, do you think that was to like kind of establish that it was the 90s, like to really make you feel that you were there? Maybe. I'm not sure. And obviously they had other nods to the 90s, didn't they? So I think, Dustin or Lauren, in your chat, you said there was a lot of flannel. I remember those days. Yes, I am that old.
Very Dawson's Creek.
Yes. Oh, Dawson's Creek. Oh.
Yeah. What about the flannel shirt over the white t-shirt? It was just like...
Yeah.
I'm sure... Look. Yeah, I'm sure I've got some pictures somewhere. I'll have to see if I can dig them out of my flannel look from the 90s.
Yeah. Me too.
Do it.
You saw how I got all excited. But yeah, they had the whole AOL dial-up thing, and I think there was some mention as well that didn't come out at that time. I think I saw that in your chat, Lauren. Sorry if I keep referencing.
No, you're okay. And honestly, it was mostly Dustin who knew like all of these 90s like technicalities, and I was like, oh, good catch.
Kelly's just put, someone was playing Castlevania on the Sega Mega Drive. Oh, I remember Castlevania. Oh God, I feel so old.
No, we're cool. We're cool. Come round again.
Retro, not old. Retro.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm going to say now. I'm not old. I'm just retro. I'm a classic. So yeah, it did give it that 90s feel, but I think that was definitely more down to the soundtrack for me. Did anyone else pick up on any other 90s kind of references at all? Or
Kate is totally inspired by Zeke from The Faculty. You know, Zeke was like the drug pusher in The Faculty.
Yeah, I didn't think that.
Yeah, I feel like she was a gender flip, kind of that version of the character, which I loved.
Yeah.
No,
they were all the classic characters, weren't they? Like sort of you had your nerd, your cheerleader, your cursed one, your hot girl instead of the hot guy, and your comedy guy. So there were all those tropes, weren't they?
Yeah.
Which I quite liked.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the point on Pike Street just said I did like that it wasn't too look it's the 90s and cliched. It just evoked the setting. Yeah, so it wasn't too in your face kind of thing. But obviously we like Point Horror and Fear Street, which was all 90s based. So I was kind of like hunting out the 90s references just because that's what I do. A bit weird. Let's talk about, so there was like some really good villains throughout the film. I've got a bit of a personal favourite. I say that with like a glint in my eye, like I always like the villains.
Oh yeah.
So did you have a favourite? Did you have a favourite, Lauren?
Yeah, I really liked the axe guy. I can't remember what his name was. But yeah, I felt like he was really terrifying, especially with like his run and his stance. And just I love classic like slashers, and that really felt that way to me, so I really enjoyed him. I wouldn't want to meet him, but I enjoyed him.
Yeah, wouldn't want to meet him anytime soon. Or just run the other way.
Yeah, he's fast for how he runs with his legs like out like that.
Yeah. Oh dear. I think.
And how does he see? How does he see?
It was a very sheer bag.
I think if I saw him coming towards me, I don't know whether I'd be that shocked and I'd just be like freeze, or whether I would run.
Nice axe.
Is that an axe in your pocket? How about you, Emma? What was your favourite villain?
I like the classic, the skull face. I thought that was frightening, especially when in the opening scenes and we were sort of led down a path of, oh, he's not in there, you know, oh, there he is, and then he wasn't, and then it just comes out, you know, and I was just like, oh, like that. Yeah, I did like the classic skull, the skull killer, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
and
about you?
I loved how the skull mask guy, like really matched the ghost face movements, like that kind of thing, and then just running and like really clumsy, falling over everything, like super ghost face style. Yeah.
No, so was he your favourite as well then, Josh?
I like the axe guy, but actually I think maybe watching it again, I really liked Ruby Lane because she's creepy. She's got that like beehive thing going on.
Yeah, and the singing.
And she just kind of comes out of nowhere, and she's the point where the film starts to introduce even more like random crazy stuff, and you have no idea what the hell is going on. So when she turns up, it's like, what's actually happening here?
No, that's true. Dustin said that in Camp Nightwing killer from next week. I presume that's the axe man. So hopefully we'll see more of him, because I think he was like my favourite, just because that's like my worst nightmare come true. So point on Pike Street said, I'm not sure, this might be a Fear Street reference that you guys might know. So when Kate first appeared, did anyone else think, God, I hope that's 𝐒𝐞 𝐄𝐳? Or I don't know whether I said that right. My accent. Is that, I don't know who that is.
She's from the Cheerleaders series. She's like the main girl pretty much through all three. I didn't think of that, but I feel like that's, I mean, I don't see her as quirky because I don't know. I didn't think about it. I have to rewatch now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then she's also put, he had the town that dreaded sun. Oh, it had the town that dreaded sundown vibes. Yeah, yes, and I love that. Yeah, definitely.
Nightmare on Elm Street, wasn't it? It was kind of like that. That's what it felt to me. Like when there's some, they did some really great cinematography, and it felt a bit Nightmare on Elm Street to me. Definitely.
Yeah, the houses were really similar to Nightmare on Elm Street.
That's it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Kat Ellis has put the girl with the razor gives me Ibitsu manga vibes. Yeah, I don't, if I've pronounced that wrong, I'm so sorry. I'm like tech and pronunciations of things, like just.
Oh, I'm the same way with pronunciation.
So bad. Oh dear. And I get worse as I go along as well. So someone called Boss6SR. I'm not sure who that is, but hello.
His name is Steven. I learned
it in
my
hi, Steven.
His name is Steven, if that makes it easy.
That's Steven.
Hi, Steven.
What do you all wish you would have seen in the first film? Oh, more death.
It's quite light on death, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm all about the kills, and I was like buddy watching it with my friend Amy McCaw and her husband Kev. I think Kev's here. Hi Kev.
Hi Kev.
And I was like, we were texting each other, like, so they were on Zoom and we were texting each other, and I was like, kill, blood, more death. So for me, like, more kills, like, definitely. How about you, Emma? What would you like to have seen?
I think I would have liked it to be a bit more edgy. I think the one thing that I would have changed, if I could have changed anything, it would have been the action adventure kind of type music. So the musical score for me didn't quite match what I was thinking I was going to get. So I would have liked it a little bit more creepy and quiet, you know? So that would have been it for me. So I felt the score was kind of really upbeat and kind of Indiana Jones action adventure, whereas I quite like a little bit more quiet, a little bit more creepy. So that's the only thing I think I would go for.
I think maybe like a little bit more comedy as well. I don't know if that's a bit controversial to say, but just a bit more like I mean, I enjoyed it, don't get me wrong, I did enjoy it, but just a bit more of a comedy element.
It was quite fraught, wasn't it? It was all very intense.
Like, I mean, there were some like funny bits. Like, I think when they're all having that really unnecessary sexy time scene. And like,
they had the times.
They just had to go there.
Yeah.
And like,
I loved Simon though. Simon was my favourite.
Simon was my favourite. Sorry, Emma.
What are the 3 rules from Randy's 3 rules? Don't have sex, don't do drugs and alcohol, and never say I'll be right back. So I think that might
but I think like at that scene for me, after they had the sexy times and Simon comes out in that like blue jumper, that was like such a 90s look. He just reminded me a bit of *𝐞 𝐄𝐈 there a little bit.
I loved how he wasn't really. Like, I was trying to define him because I reviewed it and I was like, he's not really a nerd, and he's not like the cool kid, and he's not like the jock. He's kind of a little bit of everything, but actually that felt really fresh and exciting. And I was like, I was really rooting for him more than anyone else, I think.
He was the employee of the month. That's
for so many months.
So that's what I would classify.
I like that. Yeah, okay.
It's like employee of the month goals right there.
Yeah, brilliant. Because everyone loves him so much that.
Yeah, he was my favourite, and but I do think they could have just eat a bit more comedy out of him, because like after that sexy times thing that I keep obviously bringing up, he comes out and he goes, "Did you all get it on?" And they're like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Me too." And I was like, that's the type of humour. Oh dear, it did make me chuckle, that. So I wish there's just a bit more of that throughout. But so we all agreed that Simon was our favourite character, or has anyone got a different favourite character?
I don't know.
I like Josh.
Yeah, Josh was.
Josh was a nerd though. I really liked him. I thought he was great. He just felt really believable all the way through.
Very sweet.
Yes.
Very sweet guy.
Yeah.
He was cute.
Yeah.
Dustin's rightly said, like, I'm after more death, but he's rightly said there isn't much death in the books. So that was actually accurate, which it was. It's just I'm a bit weird and I like lots of
But when you get the deaths, they're like, holy shit, like they're really horrible. They really go for it.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm reading like point horror, I'm always like, oh, more people need to die.
Fake dying.
So
Die for real.
I know.
Yeah.
I think in the books, a lot of it is like people die, but like it's not in the scene. Like they just find them and they're like, oh, they must have done this. And I do like the few deaths that we did get. Like you actually saw what happened. It wasn't just like, oh, this is what happened.
Yeah, no, definitely. And something else, I credit Dustin for this again. I'm a big Dustin fangirl, but Dustin rightly said as well that considering it was called Fear Street, that Fear Street never gets mentioned. So Shadyside does, Fear Street never gets mentioned.
I wonder if that will come up later, because she is called Sarah Fear. So I wonder if they'll bring that into later films.
Yeah, I hope it does as well, because just to try and like, it just feels a bit weird that they didn't mention it.
Like as a joke or something.
Yeah, like you would have thought it would have been a bit of an in joke. But like Dustin did message me earlier, and he said Fear Street's not mentioned. So what if we find out in the end that all the people possessed over the years all lived on Fear Street besides Sam because she bled on the bones?
Like
so
a
that
big
might
reveal, almost.
tie it all together. So that's a really good theory.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
I kind of hope they do go there with that, actually.
Yeah.
That would be, Dustin, I'm a big Shelley fanboy. Thank you, Dustin.
Someone said, is it Stephen? Somebody says he rewatched the trailer and there was a shot of a street sign saying Fear Street.
Oh,
yeah. I hope it comes up at least once.
Yeah, just once. It would be nice. I agree. It's a bit weird how it wasn't mentioned, especially like the woods as well. It was just some random woods on the side of the street. But in the books, I think it's like Fear Street Woods.
Yeah, there's the Fear Woods, there's Fear Lake, Fear Island, there's Simon Fear's burnt out mansion.
It's like Jurassic Park.
Yeah, there's a cemetery, I think, on Fear Street. And then there's also like I would say it's probably abandoned now, but the Fear Park, there's an amusement park on Fear Street. So
that's a big street.
Like I have no concept of how large this street is.
It's meant to be like a little suburban street, right? But it's got everything on it. I'm
like, is it a roundabout at least? Or like a cul-de-sac? That's cul-de-sac.
Oh dear. It is a shame then that they've got this fleshed out town, and they didn't use like parts of that. But maybe that's what they wanted to go for.
There's always another trilogy, you know, like this could be the first trilogy of many.
Yeah, no, definitely. So what would you say is the best kill? So while we're talking about my favourite subject of death, what was the best kill for you? What was your favourite, Lauren?
My favourite. I would say Kate. Is that right? I'm so good with names with characters. With Kate. Although I mentioned this in my own life, it is very unrealistic with the bread slicer because they're so dull. But I really enjoyed it because I didn't expect it. And I think that's for me, like when the rules of the movie changed. Because once you get, like, I feel, you know, close to the end and everyone is still alive, you kind of assume that everyone's going to make it to the end. Yeah. And when she died, I was like, oh, this is a different movie than what I thought it was going to be.
Because you love the characters so much by then.
Yes, because at first I was like, oh, she's a jerk. And then by the end, I was like, I'm rooting for her.
Yeah. She says she calls all the shots. She's just like, guys, seriously, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
No, I think for me, it was the bread slicer. And because I was so, like, shocked. And
you?
I'm like, considering I like horror and death, I'm like a really big wimp and like I look away a lot. So like I was on the Zoom with my friends and they could obviously see me And I was going, oh, no,
Like,
no, no, they're not going to
You
do
want
that.
something to cover your eyes too.
Yeah, and because I was like horrified of what happened, I actually missed the next death, which happened like virtually straight away.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, where's he gone?
and there's me sitting there going, that bread slicer would cut out. It had a safety on it.
Yeah.
Not in the 90s. Not in the 90s.
Yeah, they were
Not in
terrible
the 90s.
then, I
Anything
guess.
going.
Yeah, no health and safety in the 90s. Yeah, so what was your favourite death, Josh? Was it the bread slicer as well? A lot of people are saying it was the bread slicer.
I was going to say bread slicer, but just to be like devil's advocate, I think that Samantha's death is like so brutal. Like Emma, you were saying you wanted more edgy stuff, and I felt like that sequence was so brutal and horrible. There you go.
Is that with the drowning?
Well, she first like force feeding her pills. Really emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was really confused about the lobster.
I feel like everyone was.
I thought it was like, I do have a bit of a habit of being a bit dizzy. And I kind of said to my husband when they did that pan of the lobster in the tank, I was like, do lobsters kill people? Like, seriously? He was like, oh.
Yeah.
I watched it with my dad, and he's like, oh, is she allergic to shellfish? That's going to take a long time. I didn't even think about drowning until they were like doing it. I was like, oh.
No, I honestly, that blew my mind. And then you saw the little lobster like walking off.
See you guys. Get on.
He got a second chance.
He was just like, I'm not going to get eaten today. I live. Was your favourite, Emma, the bread slicer as well?
No, I actually liked when it's not a death, I guess. They tried to set the baddies on fire, and they all kind of melted. Probably, because I'm thinking, is that going to do it? It's not going to do it, surely.
Got half an hour left.
Will it kill one of them? Oh, what's it going to do? And what? Are they going to come out on fire chasing them? What's going to happen? I really liked how it all came back together again. Was kind of Stranger Things, all the blobby mess coming up, and I thought that was quite cool. I liked that.
Was quite creepy. Yeah, I liked that as well. Amy's put, and I did say this as well to my husband. I was like, how on earth did she swallow the pills without any water? Like all that amount of pills.
And if you're that afraid, your mouth would be so dry.
I know, and they're in a grocery store. They're not short of options right now.
No, I agree. Like my husband, like, he can just swallow paracetamol, but definitely not that many in one go. No. Definitely need the water.
Yeah, just to make it even worse. No water, sorry.
I know. So there was also a scene, I just wanted to see what you guys thought about this as well. So obviously we had the mayor, is it Mayor? Am I saying that right? Will Good. Yeah, we'll go with that. And then you had Sheriff Nick Good.
Yeah.
Good. So, and obviously he put the note through someone's door saying it's happening again. So who do we think that that was that he sent that note to?
I don't. Yeah, I've actually seen the second film already for work, so I can't say.
No,
I can't say anything. Yeah.
So just to clarify, like,
I'm just gonna go for a wee, and I'll come back. And
no, we won't ask you then, but we'll say our theories. But just to clarify, like, Josh is like a brilliant, like, freelance journalist, as well as a brilliant author. So, yeah, so that's why he gets lots of special privilege that we're now really jealous of. Okay, so I think that he put now I'm not sure. I was going to say he put the note through, I can't remember her name. So the one that survived the camp.
Jillian Jacobs. I don't know her name in the movie. Yeah,
that's it. I think it was her, but I might be
I have
wrong.
the same theory.
Yeah. What about you, Emma? Do you think? I think.
Yeah, I think so. Probably that's the most likely, isn't it? Although
Yeah.
just keeping a really straight face.
I know. So
I
I'm blocking Josh.
want to get some things from him.
Oh, Josh, you should have told me that before we did the chat, and I wouldn't have put you in an awkward position. I'm so sorry. Stephen's put, I have a feeling that C. Berman and the sheriff knew each other at Camp Nightwing. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That's why I think that he put the note through her door.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
Yeah, no, definitely. So I've only read, I'll be honest, I've read a few Fear Street books, but I think over here in the UK, like, correct me if I'm wrong, Josh and Emma, but I think we were more like point horror, and we had like some Fear Street when I was growing up, but not like an awful lot. So I know like the basics. I would say I'm not an expert by any means. So any nods to the books, do you think? I've seen a lot of people saying the cheerleader series, but they kind of, in my opinion, maybe stayed away from the books. What do you think, Lauren? I know you host.
It felt like that, didn't it?
You host a brilliant reading hour, Lauren, with the Fear Street. So you're the expert on this.
Oh no, I'm not the expert, but
you're expert in my eyes.
Oh, thank you. I feel like not too many nods, unfortunately. Like, I know people are saying the cheerleader aspect, and I'm not going to try to spoil it too much, but with like the cheerleaders, Sarah Fear like possesses people, or like an evil spirit does. So I think that's really the only way it really ties in. I don't necessarily feel like they're taking like, oh, it's the cheerleaders plot. It's just kind of like similar to me, at least. But otherwise, I really feel like there's not really anything that is too Fear Street. Yeah, and it is a little bit disappointing for me. I wish we would have seen more. Like, I think they had a lot of opportunities to just plug even names, or, you know, like in the news stories, they could have put anything. Like, I felt like there weren't many, if any.
Yeah, just like little Easter eggs. Yeah, maybe.
I kind of assumed that like the milkman and things like that were from the books, but are they not from the books at all? Oh wow.
Yeah, not at all.
Wow,
unfortunately.
Okay.
I think that little
not
baby...
even Billy the Butcher.
Yeah, I know. Like,
he is terrifying.
Yeah, I feel like they could have picked any. I mean, there's over like 100 Fear Street books, so it is like not even one.
Yeah. Have you read much Fear Street, Josh and Emma? Have you read much?
What have you read?
No, I did read. I did read some. I do remember reading some, but not much at all. Maybe one or two.
Yes.
But I can't think which ones. And it's only like doing the point horror with you that I'm reading and thinking, I've read this one. You know, you pick it up, start reading, you go, oh, I read this one when I was a teenager. But yeah, I don't think we didn't have that many. I think if we did have any, I don't think they were in like the bookshops. I think I got secondhand or something. Yeah. So
I think that the point on Pike Street said, like, in the UK, I don't think they were published here, and they never have UK prices on the covers. So it was like, I do remember reading some. I think I was saying to Dustin the other day, I think I read, I want to say Haunted, which I actually did find my copy of. Oh, I only found it last night, and I don't know what I've done with it. And then I've read some of the Return to Fear Street.
Is that a more recent
the
one?
newer ones?
Yeah, so they're like, let's say 3 years ago, maybe. Maybe longer than that. But I've mainly read those and maybe a couple of the old ones. So for me, I could tell that there wasn't many book references just from what people were saying. But I mean, I still enjoyed it. But I do feel sorry for like the fans of the books who were like really, really hoping that they'd get you know, some of that nostalgia as well, from watching the film. But then I totally get why they're trying to do like a separate thing, maybe to try and start off a new kind of franchise, and I respect that. That's a good thing. As long as we get more like slasher stuff, then I'm all about
merchandise. I really want
merchandise.
Yes. Please.
Now, so the younger generations can get the books now, because I went at work and I was looking up the system, and Waterstone sell them. So I don't know whether they've got them on the system specifically for this, but so you can get some of them now.
Yeah, I think they've done some re-releases over here. They're like 4-in-1 books, I think. I think Dustin had one for a giveaway. But yeah, I think they've been like re-released over here. So that's good. So I can't ask this question now. Now we know Josh is in the second one, but which film were you most excited for, or are you most excited for to watch? Emma, let's start with you first.
I think the next one. I think the camp one. Just because having grown up watching lots of horror, it was always things at campsites that were the most frightening, wasn't it? It was always terrifying because you're isolated. And I'm looking forward to seeing the 70s vibe that comes out of that, because I watched a lot of 70s horror, as well as 80s and 90s. So I think that's going to be the one I'm most excited. The next one, definitely. Yeah,
same. I love a good camp slasher film with lots of death. Someone's going to call the police on me, I'm sure. How about you, Lauren?
I'm the same. I love like an old slasher film, so I'm ready for the 70s one. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And I do have a question. I don't know if it's dumb, but were like summer camps and this type of thing like normal in the UK as well, or is it like a heavily like American thing in the media?
It's, for me, like I think of summer camp and think of America summer camp,
Parent Trap, Friday the 13th.
and things like that.
Yeah.
Although like
we probably had summer camps, but they're.
Sorry, Emma.
Did you go to one?
No, I don't.
Did you guys go to camp?
No, I never did. I don't know anyone who ever went to summer camp, but they did. It is normal in like middle grade to go to like outdoor ed or outdoor lab, where you go for a weekend to like a camp with your whole class and you do activities. But like I've never been to summer camp. So
I did go to somewhere called Buckmore Park when with a women's. It was like,
stop it, John.
I was 14 and they had like went out walking in the woods at midnight, and it was just frightening. It was really scary. Yeah. So I want to go home.
I mean, we went on like that would terrify me. We went on like residential like trips with school for like a week away, like
in Wales or something.
Yeah, like where you had to like live in a log cabin.
With like a coin meter.
Yeah, but I think that's probably the closest.
It's more of like a people in the UK. They finish uni and they might take a gap year, and they'll go over to America and they'll be counselors at American camps.
I love
like
this.
That's a big thing, but we don't really have actual summer camps.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We've missed out. We miss out on Fear Street.
I would never
we miss out on summer camp.
No.
We miss out on being stalked by a slasher at summer camp.
There's always one at every camp. It's part of the fee when you sign up.
Wouldn't it be good, like, if they... Oh, no. It wouldn't, because I wouldn't go to it. But I was going to say, wouldn't it be good if they did, like, a... like at Halloween, like a summer camp where it's like a fake, like...
You just started a business.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and like you just like get stalked, and then like if you get caught, you're like out
People
of the
would
camp.
pay so much for this. They would.
You heard it here first.
It needs to happen. It really does.
Oh dear, honestly though, I'm the worst one. I wouldn't go to my own.
I feel like all the serial killers would just gravitate towards it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
They do
To be shut
cornfield
down.
one though, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh, what did you say, Emma?
That, Shelley, the cornfield, like where they set people cornfield loose on you. Have you seen those?
I've seen
Yeah.
it and I avoid it. I'm honestly, like, as I say, I love horror, but I'm a wimp. And like,
I did one of those and I like threw my arms around a complete stranger. Like this man from behind. I was just like, ah.
Like for reference, like once over here, Lauren, in the UK, we have, I'll just tell this story really quick because it's like really long, but we have this theme park called Alton Towers, and every Halloween they do like a big Halloween event. And I can't believe I'm saying this, I went to I got dragged, let's say, to this Halloween event, God knows how. Long story short, I got convinced to go into this like haunted house.
Oh, no.
I cried all the way around. It had live actors in.
Yeah.
So I cried all the way around, and we had to like walk with our hand like on the person in front, which was my ex was in front of me, and then my sister was behind me. So I had my sister laughing hysterically like all the way around, me crying, saying, "Let me out." And then I'd gripped my ex's coat that tight that when we left, I'd cut all his neck open. He was like bleeding.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my God.
But I was in such a state by the time I got to the top. I can't believe I'm saying this. I was in such a state when I got to the top that you go into like the master's bedroom, and he like pulled me out of the line with his like fake knife. And I was like, please let me
They
out.
target the people who are the most scared.
So there's like CCTV out there with me like having, and like we had to walk through like these body bags that were like hanging down and stuff, and I was going, there's someone in the body bags, there's someone. So I'm the worst person to like go into these things.
I think it's important you never do that again.
Or
dear.
film it
Yeah.
next time and post it for
I don't know how they convinced me to go in there in the first place, but anyway, I thought I'd be brave that day, and I thought I can't be as scared as I used to be, but apparently I was. So I've just embarrassed myself like live on Instagram.
Well, edit that bit out.
So that was all the story that you all didn't ask for that you got, but
I loved it.
Loved it.
So one thing I did note as well, I have to mention, was the one solitary parent turning up at the
Where
end.
are the parents?
But that, I think that is such a really good classic nod to like point horror and Fear Street and like any like 90s kind of thriller where the parents just were always absent all the time.
Do they even actually explain where Dina and Josh's parents are?
No,
they ever
I
say?
don't think. No, I don't
like,
think they do.
where are
but
they?
I kind of like that. I'm like, yeah.
It's it's very bold. Sorry.
No, it is definitely. But yeah, I did kind of like that there was just the one parent turn up, and I was like, that actually made it feel like really quite nostalgic for me that they were
Which
missing.
parent was it?
Sam.
Was it Sam's? Yeah, Sam's.
Oh,
Sam's parent.
yeah. Oh,
She
that was
wasn't really that worried about all the deaths, though, was she? She wasn't worried about all the deaths.
No.
She was just worried
I've
that
got
her
a
daughter
gay
was kissing a
daughter.
girl. And I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Priorities.
you're getting upset about her kissing the girl. What? You know, crazy mum.
Yeah.
Oh, Justin's put her dad was at work. Was that
What, for
Dina's
like
dad?
a week?
Well, also,
For a week.
I think they mentioned that he's an alcoholic or like a drunk, right? So
Oh,
maybe he
yeah.
was just out doing that. I don't know.
I did.
Okay.
She
That
were
makes
at home. Though.
But I just
Yeah.
loved it. I was like, yeah, no parents. You know, it's
Parents suck, boo.
They wouldn't be helpful if they were there. So.
yeah, so Kelly's put, Rich said so Rich, her boyfriend, and Kelly said you hardly ever see the parents in a point horror either. So that was just like the books. But yeah, I did appreciate the parents thing.
It's a real YA thing, isn't it? It's like, how do we get rid of the parents?
Yeah.
Either they're dead or they're away or they're busy.
Yeah, especially
or they're drunk.
Yeah, or a YA thriller. Definitely, they like to do away with the parents early.
Yeah, get rid of them.
Yeah. So if how do you think people so just say new generation has watched Fear Street. So like my husband watched it. He's never read any of the books and he actually really, really liked it. And my 16-year-old watched it. I know it's an 18. But he watched it and he was a bit like, I wasn't sure about it. So how do you think that, just say people really loved Fear Street and then they go and pick up the books, do you think they're going to be a bit disappointed because it's not exactly the same?
Yes, I think they will be, just because the books are really tame compared to the movie. Like we said, there really isn't much death. You really don't even see it. Like 90% of the books are like blackmail, I feel like, or
phone calls.
Stuff like that. So I think they will be disappointed, and well, especially like the 90s ones. And there's a lot of problematic parts too in 90s Fear Street. So I think that will be interesting.
Yeah,
that's what I loved about this film, is that it doesn't just do 90s, it comments on 90s, and it brings in like the diversity. Like all of these characters are so diverse.
Yes, I loved that. I really did.
It kind of updates it.
Yeah, I really like that as well, because that in like, especially in point horror, that's quite rare. No, actually, it's very rare. I'm lying. It's very, very rare to have such diversity. So that was like really refreshing and really good.
And the ones who die, one is a white guy, and Kate is sort of Hispanic, maybe, I think. So yeah, they kind of keep it like even balance, I guess.
Yeah, there isn't like a token person that died.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So overall then, just to kind of wrap up, I've had such fun. Overall, did we enjoy it? Are we a fan? Are we? Yeah. Is there
Definitely going for number 2.
Yeah, number 2 is going to be. Oh, I just can't wait for number 2. I'm trying not to look at Josh now when I say that. But yeah, so number 2 is the one that I'm really looking forward to. But I really did like it as a really good slasher film. There's a couple of slow bits in there for me, just that I found a bit slow. But again, that is probably because I'm just all about with the slasher. I just want the chase and the death.
Maybe that's one thing that I would say is kind of missing from the film, is that one of my favorites is I Know What You Did Last Summer, and that sequence with Helen where she goes from in the cop car, down the street, through the store, out the window, down another alleyway, like that really epic kind of horror chase. I know they kind of do it with the opening scene, but that's one thing I missed from Fear Street 1994, was that proper epic chase scene.
It was choppy, wasn't it? The editing were kind of really from this to this to this to this to this to this. So I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah, and maybe that's why in some places I did find it slow. And as I say, don't get me wrong, I did enjoy it. But there was I just wanted I think it was that. I think you've hit the nail on the head there, Josh, actually. It was more that it maybe did need like a big chase scene like that, because that chase scene in I Know What You Did Last Summer is just
amazing.
Yeah, brilliant.
The endurance.
Yeah, I know. Like, she's gonna make it. She's gonna make it.
It's like I remember the first time I saw that, and I was just like, your heart's just going like, come on,
run, Helen, run.
Yeah, it's exactly like the opening of Scream, like with Drew Barrymore. Like you're just willing her to just run as fast as she possibly can, to get away.
But I think the reason I don't really mind that they don't have that chase scene is that the film isn't content to just be a slasher. Like, it genuinely does do its own thing. It introduces the witch sort of backstory, which gives it such a unique sort of sense of being different. So I actually really love this film, and I think it gets stronger as it goes along, actually.
Yeah, I loved, we haven't really talked about that, like the supernatural element. But I actually really, really liked that, and it was refreshing to be in a slasher film. Having that. Did you think that, Lauren and Emma?
Yeah. I like that element of it because it's just a bit different, isn't it? And when you find out he's dead, I was like, oh, zombie killer, like I was like, that's what I thought at first, and it was like, oh, there's more ghosts, what's going on, so yeah, I did like that because you don't see that very often.
No. Sorry, I was just going to say the point on Pike Street said the Forbidden Game was the only one with diversity for point horror. Well, it wasn't really a point horror, but they made it a point horror over here. But I don't think I have actually read those, so I must read those.
Buddy read.
Yes, Buddy read. And talking about, I know what you did last summer. Dustin's done a really good episode on his podcast where they've read the book and stuff. So it's really, really good. So honestly, check that out if you're a fan. Awesome. There's like a question thing on here.
I know. I discovered that on Friday. I was like,
I've never seen that before. So, no, I'm so bad at pronouncing stuff. So, 𝐅𝐴𝐚𝐜𝐿. I'm so sorry. Did you all see the 1978 teaser at the end of the movie? So, yeah, I think I did, unless there was something like after. Wasn't anything like after the credits, was there?
It's just at the end.
Yeah, there was, because
I didn't see it.
It was just another Stranger Things cast member. It was
Sadie
Sam?
Sink. Yeah, is it Sadie Sink?
Yeah, I saw her and I went, oh.
I was like, there she is.
Yeah.
I think she's one of the reasons why I'm like really excited for next week as well, because she's like Maya Hawke. She's just brilliant. I mean, it might be Stranger Things biased, but
I'm getting the clue confused now.
Yeah, Max. Out of Stranger Things. Yeah. And Josh is just like,
Can't wait to talk about it next week.
I can't wait now. You've made me even more excited about it. So I think we all did see the teaser trailer. I was starting to think there was like something I'd missed, but it must have been that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just having a look to see if there's any other comments that I've missed. So point on Pike, she said it was right before the credits. So yeah, definitely saw that. But guys, I think we'll wrap it up. But it's been so good talking to you about this. I've been dying to. I know before the chat, I know I'd obviously seen Lauren's brilliant live chat that she did, and no, Lauren, honestly, so good.
Thank you.
And I know I hadn't spoken to Emma or Josh purposely. I hadn't spoken to Lauren either. I'd just in the chat purposely so we could save it for the chat. Yeah. But yeah, just as well, if you are a fan of Fear Street, I just wanted to do some shout outs just at the end to podcasts or accounts that I kind of like. So I've obviously got, I'm going to embarrass her again now, Lauren. So Lauren does a brilliant reading hour every week. And you pick a different Fear Street book every few weeks, and she reads it, and you've got such a calming voice, and it's just lovely.
Thank you.
And then obviously Dustin can read. He did a brilliant Fear Street parody, a tribute called The Listener. And if you haven't listened to that, it's really, really good. Lauren starred in it as well. Yeah. I did a little cameo. Cheesy cameo. But it's really good. And Dustin, Dustin like wrote it himself, and like organised everyone to record, and it's so good, like, and it really gives a feel for like Fear Street and like the books and things like that. It's really good, top notch. I highly recommend. And then we've got Hannah, Panda's Reading Rainbow, so she runs the Fear Street Book Club podcast. I really enjoy listening to that. Like, I haven't read all of the books, but I do listen, and she just breaks it down brilliantly, and sometimes she has a guest on, and I just really enjoy it. So I just wanted to give Hannah a shout out for that as well. And then there's others like The Point on Pike Street and Haunted Outfit, and Jack Reacts, who like just really make me all excited for like more Fear Street. So I just wanted to give them a little shout out and say thank you for keeping me entertained. Like constant. And like thank you everyone for joining in as well. Like, I've tried to read as many comments out as I can. It's really hard sometimes, like when
it goes
trying to
sad.
chat.
Yeah.
Just like
to try and
comments, great.
Yeah, and then if you get behind, you like then scroll into like
multitasking.
Yeah, but we'll be back next week. Lauren can't join us next week. No, it's all right. But hopefully she'll be back the week after.
Yes,
but hopefully I have a special guest. We'll leave it as a surprise with us.
I predict it's going to be Dustin. With all, he's practically in it right now, I think.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, thank you guys. It's been really good, and honestly, enjoy the second film, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, I can't end it.
Oh no.
Oh dear. Here we go. See ya.